Growing up in Greensboro, there was a park called Guilford County General Green Park, and in it was a old fire truck that we as kids would love to go, and we would go to it and climb all over it. And over the years, everything kind of started dilapidating. The only things that couldn't be unscrewed was left, but it was just like this, and I remember jumping on it for years. Very cool.
They
And I
restored it very
haven't
nicely.
remembered that memory since I was probably like 12 years old.
While in St. Michael's, we heard that there was a fireworks display planned in the Miles River. So we're headed to the east side of St. Michael's, which is about a 40 nautical mile sail. We're going to pass through the drawbridge at Tilghman Island, pass by Sharp's Island Lighthouse, head north to Eastern Bay, and then anchor just off St. Michael's in the Miles River. We pass through the Knapps Narrows that cuts through Tilghman Island. The Narrows has a drawbridge that opens on request. Surprisingly, this drawbridge is the busiest drawbridge in the nation, as measured by the number of openings. Usually we're worried about the vertical clearance with bridges, but with the drawbridge in Knapps Narrows, we're worried about the horizontal clearance. The drawbridge has a horizontal clearance of 42 feet, and Labmariner has a 24-foot beam. That gives us 9 feet clearance on either side, which seems like a lot, but with the large number of vessels passing through, it's a bit scary going through. The dogs watch as I spend a little time adjusting the trim on the sails.
She looks pretty good.
Most of our sails can be trimmed using our 2 electric winches, but the main sheets are trimmed with a manual winch. So I trim the mainsail by grinding the appropriate main sheet in using a handle on the winch. Fortunately, our bimini top has a window that allows me to determine when the mainsail is correctly trimmed.
Those look pretty good.
Our next destination is Sharp's Island Lighthouse. Sharp's Island Lighthouse is cast iron with a caisson foundation and sits 35 feet above the waterline. This lighthouse has been leaning since the 1970s when it was pushed over by an ice floe. It was purchased in 2008 by an independent buyer, but no improvements appear to have been made. It is currently listed on our chart plotter as abandoned.
So we are passing by Poplar Island on our way up to St. Michael's. What can you tell us about Poplar Island?
Throughout the 1800s up to 1920, it was occupied by about 100 inhabitants, and then by 1920, enough land erosion had dwindled into it was abandoned. And then the U.S. government and the need to dredge a channel all the way up to Baltimore, we're about a little over halfway up the Chesapeake. The Army Corps of Engineers was looking for a place to put all of its tailings from the dredging all the way up to Baltimore, and they decided this island was the perfect thing, and they sold it as if it could be a sanctuary for birds, which I'm sure it is, but it is massive.
3 miles.
In 1920, when it was abandoned, it was only 100 acres. By the time the Army Corps of Engineers is finished with it, close to 1,200 acres. So they're making it 12 times the size.
Well, they project its completion in 2044.
Right.
So they've got years to work on it.
Well, based on how big it is, and it's going to be to 2044, by the time they're finished with putting the tailings on the top, it may rise up 500 feet out of the water.
We arrive at our anchorage outside of St. Michael's late in the day and enjoy a beautiful sunset with plans to head to town early in the morning.
We are anchored near St. Michael's. with lots of other boats. Put it on the bottom of the boat like you did last time, yeah.
We head to the
Seemed to
entrance
drive
for the
pretty well that
Chesapeake
way.
Bay Maritime Museum. At the entrance, they display the original drawbridge at Knapps Narrows that was replaced in 1998 by a larger drawbridge.
This was the original bridge at Tilghman Island. It is a smaller version than the one that they have there now. So what they did is they took this apart, brought it here to St. Michael's for the museum, and they rebuilt it. The one that's currently now at Tilghman Island is the exact same one, just
Slightly longer.
slightly larger in every dimension.
Yeah, it definitely is longer.
It's a great idea for the entrance.
Yeah, that is really cool. Yeah, that was kind of crazy going through it. The one that's at Knapps Narrows now.
When we drove our catamaran through,
Yeah, 9 feet on
we
each
had
side.
9 feet on each side.
No problem. You made it look easy.
Yeah, with 8 other sailboats coming and going with us.
Having to wait for everybody, yeah.
Luckily, it was
definitely tricky.
at slack tide.
Yes.
Made life a lot easier.
Pretty church. It's hitting it very nicely too. Christ Church. I see that all 3 dogs are wearing a gentle leader. This is a question we get all the time. What is a gentle leader and how does it work?
So first off, a gentle leader basically is a leash, but there's an extra strap that goes over their muzzle, and the attachment point is always underneath their chin. And it's basically built so that as the dog, all dogs like to lead. You always see dogs pulling their owner versus vice versa, their owner walking their dog. Usually the dog is walking the owner. This stops that. When they start pulling away, what happens is that as they pull away, it turns their head to the side and stops them from pulling. Anybody uses those chest collars and everything. Our trainer that trained us years ago basically shook her head and said those are the most worthless things. If you want to turn your dog into a mush dog where they're pulling you around, go buy one of those. A gentle leader. Also, these things do not keep the dogs from either biting or barking. Some people believe that, but they don't. Nuala does not like her gentle leader because she's a free-spirited dog. We may actually see her try to rub it off in the grass. It doesn't come off, but she doesn't stop her from trying. So, and then the other thing with the gentle leaders is once they've had it on for a while and you've been training with them, when you put them on, they know that they have to perform to a higher standard. And then when it's kind of relaxing time, you can just take them off. And the rest of the collar just functions. And they know that it's a little bit more relaxing and there's no more responsibility that they have. When we go back to our dinghy in a few minutes, I will definitely put it on because without them on, they turn into a completely different pet.
Show me the no hands. Oh, no hands.
You know how you do it with no hands?
Feet instead of hands.
Voila. Always keep the most
Voice.
difficult dog closest and the easiest dog as far away.
Yes. Mocha is very easy.
Anubis would be very easy if someone didn't happen to
Love her too much.
love her too much.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Don't worry, you're in the video.
Nuala, come here. Nuala, come here.
Yeah, she always wants to be in the front.
We head back to Labmariner to spend some time relaxing before the fireworks show tonight.
Lots of boats.
This 4th of July, not only do we get to enjoy a fireworks show, we also get to enjoy the July full moon, which is traditionally called a buck moon. So why is the July full moon called a buck moon? Because at this time of year, buck deer begin to grow velvety antlers. Perfect. One for each of us. We're in St. Michael's. We've been in St. Michael's for a number of days now. What are some of your favorite things about the town?
It's really a beautiful old town that's been regentrified over the years. And so it's beautiful parks, nice walking areas, fun and interesting shops.
Very cute harbor area. Everything is right together, so it's really cute.
Probably my most favorite thing was 30 minutes before the 4th of July fireworks out in the bay. All the boats were out. There must have been good 250 boats all jockeying around the big barge that had all the fireworks. And Miles River Yacht Club sponsored it, and it was spectacular. And
it was nice being right next to it.
Tip of the hat to the Yacht Club for sponsoring that for everyone. Everybody thoroughly enjoyed it.
One thing I really liked about St. Michael's was the Chesapeake Bay Maritime Museum. That was really nice. It's probably one of the nicest that we've seen so far. And it was nice that it was open and we could actually go in and see the exhibits. It was very interesting.
And the attendants there were very informative. They were very motivated. Nice. They took us around. If you come here, you absolutely must go to the Maritime Center. You see all these things in the Chesapeake, and they bring it all together, and you learn a lot about the history. It's interesting
about oystering, about clamming, and just
the different seasons and how you do it, and eeling, and how the different boats work, and what makes certain characteristics of boats more necessary, and then some of the history.
And they have some beautifully restored boats.
Right.
One thing that's nice is that almost all the stores provide us with water for the dogs. So we bring it ourselves, but it's nice just in case.
Dog-friendly community.
It's a very dog-friendly community. And a lot of the restaurants allow dogs inside, and it's very dog-friendly. So, pups, what'd you think of this episode? What's that? 3 paws up! So if you're enjoying this episode, please remember to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to our channel.